friends, this is Jeff with Ability Lock and Key. We've been called out to rekey a home that's been purchased. It's vacant. So come along with us and watch and see what's involved in that. First off, the front door just has one keyed lock on it. So I have to throw the bolt in order to get to the screws. Let's put this in my pocket. Okay. All right, we'll set this down right here. And I'll put this lock in my pocket to take out to the van. Then we'll go to the back door here. On this door, we got a deadbolt and a doorknob. With a little percussion going on with the blinds. Okay. Looks like that's going to stick there for now, so we'll just leave it like it is. Now for the doorknob. There's my hole I was looking for. Let's unlock it from inside. Actually, it was unlocked. It just was sticking. Turn that to there, and there's a little poke hole right here. Push in on it, and there's the doorknob. Tell you what, we'll just carry that all to the van. And then, so let me get this out of the way. Put that doorknob in my pocket. Nice to have large pockets.
I need to be on the other side.
For such an occasion.
Because your head and hands where the poke hole is.
Okay, poke hole is right down here. You probably not going to see it anyway, but.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if we can get her right there. There it is. And now that's all our locks. We'll take those back to the van and rekey them. Okay, we're caught with an unfortunate situation. These three locks right here are all on a Schlage keyway. And this lock, which is the front door, which has a fancy finish on it, is on a quickset keyway. So I've already rekeyed this one. The customer wanted one key to fit everything, but that would either require changing these three locks or this one. And because of the finish and the style of lock being a thumb latch, it's just not practical. And so we're just going to make it a 2-key house. That's just how it's going to have to be.
Okay. He's putting the thumb turn back on the front door. It works the latch.
All right, we leave that just a little bit loose for the alignment of this one. Oop. Too much coffee this morning. Here we go. Now we'll snug them both up. We'll test it with the thumb turn, and then we'll test it with the key. And that works good. 3 additional keys. They want 4 keys altogether. So
And he's punching out keys. For him, he can do this just as fast or faster than he can cut.
Oh yeah, I love my blue punches. They are very expensive. I never bought either one of them new. I bought them used. So I paid a fraction of what they would normally cost. But I use them all the time, and they're really great for this. Yesterday we did a home eviction. Fortunately, no one was there. But in doing that, we had to do quick set smart keys, so we had to hook up and scope the lock to make keys to that one. And once you read those cuts and write them down, you go back to the van, sheriff's department's waiting, property owners waiting, snap them out with the Pro Lock blue punch, and it's just a wonderful process to be able to quickly put out a key once you know what the cuts are. Okay, now we'll work on the back door deadbolt. Pop it open.
I'm not going to show all of them, but we'll show this one. There's not a lot of differences there in this and the others.
Well, you wouldn't have to show both of those. Maybe we can look at one of them. Okay, again, since we have no keys to these locks right now, we would have showed you us picking the lock and getting inside the house. However, they explained to us that they left the place unlocked, and it indeed was unlocked. So we will not leave it how we found it. We'll end up
leaving it locked with different keys.
Locked, yeah. Okay, giving a little lubrication to help the process out there. Okay, so we're going to slide this in the back side. We got everything out of the way. And right now the key's got all the pins pushed in the upper chamber. So as I apply slight pressure to this, the shim, and slowly pull out on the key, when it reaches the spot between the bottom pin and the top pin, the shim, in theory, should slide between them. There it goes. I got one. There's two. Sometimes you have to do a little back and forth. There's three, four. Oh, well, maybe that was five. Anyway, it's turned now. So at that point, we can use our plug follower. Again, we're using the plug follower to keep the top pins and springs in the top chamber, and the bottom pins stay in the bottom lock.
Cool.
So I'm going to snap out a random. Actually, I don't know that I have to snap out a random. I'll just grab this one here and we'll utilize it.
Is there four keys?
It's two. We can cut two more.
Okay.
So we'll start with this one here. That's flush.
You guys have been wanting us to do it full screen, and I'm adjusting to filming him full screen. It may be too jerky. We may have to go back to the up and down because you have a much narrower view with this, and as he moves, I have to move the camera up, around, to the right, to the left, or whatever. Whereas with the other one, I can lead it pretty, and people may not like it being up and down and whatever. So we'll just see. Let us know in comments how you feel about it. We may go back to the other way, just so I can hold the camera more steady all the time. Because my honey
all right, now we're fast. We got our pins in there. We're going to reinsert. And this is not.
None.
This is a aftermarket. No, actually it's not. It says Dexter by Schlegg. So let's see what we got going on here. We got a problem. Houston, we've got a problem. Those right there.
See, we just jerk around. So I may go back to the other guys. Y'all let me know.
Okay, let me go grab some pins from a different pinning kit. These in. Guess I had three of them stuck to my finger. Now let's try that. Okay, everything looks good, in my opinion. Now it slides back in.
Oh, good.
That works well. So we'll put this spring in here, which pushes against this retainer, which holds the tail piece. We'll have to screw that on. and then it's got multiple slots up here. So generally I'll take a tool like this and hold that retainer pin out of the way and try to, this can be a little bit awkward at times. Maybe do that, set it off for a minute. And you always want to make sure that you don't get it too tight or leave it too loose, because what that in turn will do is cause your key to jam. So customers out there, if you put your key in and you can't pull your key back out, more than likely there's too much play in this and it's jamming the pins when you go to pull the key out. And how you'll know if that's actually what's going on is you can take your finger and push it up against the face of the lock. In fact, I might can show you. Let's see if that works in this case. So for instance, we do this. Okay, yeah, key is jammed. It won't come out, but I take my finger and apply pressure and it comes out. So I don't have this tailpiece tight enough, but I did this for a demonstration purpose. Well, now it's coming out, but it's still, it's too loose. Anyway, then it started working, but we got to go a couple more spaces on this to snug it up. Right there, looks good. So at that point, yeah, key comes out nice, turns nice. So that lock is done. Now what I'll do before we close out this video is I'll show you on the doorknob. We got this ring right here that's holding the actual lock cylinder in. Then we'll pull the cylinder out. The difference being is it uses a C-clip on here. See if I can do this without puncturing my finger, which I've done many a times.
Which doesn't feel good for several days.
Yeah. All right, there it is right there. And so what you saw us do earlier, I'll take this blank key, slide it in, use a shim, because once again, we do not have keys to this lock. Okay. Well, sometimes you want to start it without the key in it, because the key can sometimes, there, now it's in by itself, it's holding on. And then we push that in, start rocking the key and moving it out slowly as I push the shim in, and eventually it turns. And then at that point, we can take it out and rekey it. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but this lock is really dry. It almost looks powdery right here. So we'll lube those up real good before we put them back in so they'll function properly. Okay, we're back at the back door. I'm going to slide this in, see if I can do it without knocking anything out. Screws should pop out. There they are. I'll grab my screwdriver. So this one is almost kind of painted to the door, so the lock body stayed in place, so I didn't have to do all that lining up and all. Thumb turn works. Now let's grab the keys. Try the keys. Slide that in. All right, that works. Okay, now for the doorknob, all we have to do is push it on. Now we want to pull on it, make sure it's good on there. Now, for some of you who may have been watching this earlier, you saw me use a poke hole to pull the knob off. That retainer can only move when the lock is in the unlocked position. When it's in the locked position, you cannot use that tool to pull this knob off. So that's not a concern, in case somebody was thinking that. So yes, this works freely. There, it's locked. So we'll close this door, lock the deadbolt. Now we'll go right over here to the door going into the garage. Same type of thing. We're going to drop that on. Ouch! We're going to pinch my hand while I do it. Okay, right now it's unlocked. We're going to test the key in it. That's the unlocked position. That's the lock position. And we're going to close the garage door because we can do it from here. We're going to make sure that door is still locked. Now we're going to come back to our front door. And how many keys are we supposed to leave in this?
3.
3, and bring 1 back to the realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to take 1 key off of each ring. Again, as we talked earlier, this was a 2-key house because this is a quick set keyway. All the other doors are Schlage. Oops, I'm trying to drop the wrong keys in there. So there's our Schlage keys. There's our quick set keys. We'll lock that. We'll change the combination numbers so that just anybody can't go in. Now we'll step outside. We will utilize the quick set key to lock the house. And we're all done. So appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, friends, you can't change the past, so live for today and plan for tomorrow.